through. Okay, so I've just started playing a league. I'm 2 games in. We've won our games. I'm playing the Hadana's Climb deck. It's a green-black snake deck, but also splashes blue for Hadana's Climb. What Snake does is when it comes down, it just looks out for any counters going anywhere else. If counters go on any of your guys, if you get energy counters, it puts an extra one on. And then you use this in conjunction with things like Hadana's Climb, which at the beginning of combat puts a counter on a guy, so that it puts 2 counters on a guy. Or Bristling Hydra, which protects itself but a counter on it, so it puts 2 counters on itself and protects itself. And it uses these synergies along with, as well as synergies with Walking Ballista, to generate this sort of free value on a relatively well-costed creature as well. To try and pressure the opponent early. But the thing that makes this deck different from the ones you might have seen before is these main deck Planeswalkers. I got this list from someone who won the PPTQ last weekend at Chaos Cards. Look at chaoscards.co.uk for all your singles needs. And he got in touch. I got in touch with him, and he told me that it just gives him a really good game against sort of control decks, because they're often trying to deal with the early threats. Then you land a Planeswalker, and it's very hard for them to deal with. Also, the inclusion of 4 Thrashing Bronto on main is normal for the mono green decks that Daniel and I were just talking about on stream, but it's not so normal for these builds. But what you find is that there are a lot of vehicles going around which Bronton can kill, but more than that is you've got a 3 mana 3/4 body, and with all the aggro decks, as we just saw in some of the games that I just played, it just sits there and soaks up hits. It's very hard for them to kill. They need to attack it, lose a guy, and use a kill spell quite often to get rid of it. At which point you can just blow up their vehicle as well. The sideboard's a bit weird because we're looking at team formats at the minute, and we probably won't have access to negate for this deck. It's going to be going somewhere else, so we're trying out these Admiral's Orders. We want a counter spell that's going to be able to counter Settle the Wreckage, and sometimes counter Fumigate as well. So this is really good at you attack, they go Settle the Wreckage, you pay 1 blue and counter Settle the Wreckage. You can also attack and then they try and do something in your second main phase, and you counter it, or you can use this to protect resolving a creature in your second main phase after attacking. We've got some extra removal spells. This is probably the weakest slot in the sideboard. I think can be changed. We'll have a look. It's against red black and the green creature decks. Doesn't kill Galta though. Nothing else kills Galta. Kite Sail Freeboot is another nod to the team format in that I'd like Duress. If we play red black, they're probably going to have Duress. If we play an Esper deck or a blue black control deck or something, we're probably not playing blue black control because I've got the lands, but you get where I'm coming from. Something else takes Duress. This is a relatively good answer. The other thing is it also enables your Admiral's Orders because it flies in, so that's pretty good. And it works quite well with Hadana's Climb. This on turn 2, Hadana's Climb on turn 3. You're growing it, you know what you're playing around. It's nice. It's mainly there because discard spells, you want to be able to take Best Sweeper so you can kill them quick. Knight of Malice is there for the white decks. It's very hard for them to remove. I came up against this a lot in the GP. It was very hard for me to remove. Can do it, but it's hard. Also, the first strike is relevant because against weenie decks or red decks, you can board it in as a first strike and blocker. We did in one of our games this evening, but I won't be doing that again. It wasn't great. Gonti, I think, is just an all-round good role player. I boarded him in just then against red black. I would also board him in against the control decks. He's never main, but I think I'm always boarding him enough to board, because if you red black go bigger against you, so you can take a really big threat. Against control, you can take a Teferi or something. It's great. And then we got the extra Vraska's Contempt. These slots seem like the ones that we're not too sure about yet, and we'll have to have some thinking around. So that's the deck. I've played a couple of games and they're going to be up online as well, so check them out. But the main thing is keep an eye on this deck. I think it's going to be good for RPTQ. I'll be playing Wednesday evening as well. sign in. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm going to head off now, and I'll see you tomorrow night if you're online.